Computer hardware components part 6. USB flash drive. Popularly known as pen drive or thumb drive, it can store up to 64 GB. Modern pen drives can store up to 2 terabyte of data. It has an integrated USB. USB is also known as Universal Serial Bus. It is not volatile and can store data on it. Memory card. Data is stored in digital format on the memory card. It can be used in various electronic devices from handheld devices like mobile phones, cameras, and so on. It is also a rewritable device. Although it is small in size, it can store a large amount of data. Internal hardware of a computer. Computer has a lot of parts like CD, DVD drive, hard disk, motherboard, power cord, ribbon cable, extra case, sound card, modem card, video card, fan, chip, and power supply. Motherboard. The computer is built around a motherboard. The motherboard is most important part in the PC. It has a large printed circuit board also known as PCB. The motherboard is used to connect all the essential components of a computer. It contains a processor, socket, and interface to plug RAM, hard drive, disk drives, and optical drives. The BIOS, also known as the Basic Input-Output System, and CMOS, also known as the complementary metal oxide semiconductor, are present on the motherboard. BIOS is used as the interface between the operating system and the motherboard. It is stored in ROM. CMOS chip saves some in system information like time and system date. SMPS, also known as switch mode power supplies, which supplies all power to the internal components of the computer. When the computer is turned on, the power supply converts the incoming AC voltage into lower voltage DC supply. The SMPS also protects the computer from sudden surges and spikes in the power. Fan. Fan is inside the computer cabinet. It prevents internal components from overheating. It maintains a flow of air inside the case. The fan can push warm air outside, pull air from outside, and also move the air inside the PC cabinet to cool the parts. Ports. Ports are the inlets or the rear side of a computer case where you can plug various devices such as mouse, keyboards, and printers. These ports are connected to the motherboard inside the computer case. There are different kinds of ports. Some of the ports used earlier were serial port, parallel port, PS2 port, VGA port, SCSI port. Some of the popular ports are USB port, LAN port, or audio plugs, and HDMI port. Primary memory. Primary memory is also known as the main memory or internal memory. They are of two types, RAM and ROM. Some of the characteristics of primary memory are the primary memory can be directly accessed by the CPU. This kind of memory is fast but expensive. Any process to be executed has to be loaded into the primary memory first. RAM stands for random accessed memory. This memory holds the data, immediate results, and all system and users process during the running of the system. The data instructions are fetched by the control unit from the RAM. It is volatile since all the data gets erased as soon as the power is switched off. ROM. ROM stands for read-only memory. ROM is used for storing BIOS. ROM contains instruction that helps during the boot up of the computer, also known as the startup process of the computer. There are different kinds of ROM, like PROM, EPROM, and EEPROM. PROM means programmable read-only memory. The user can write the data once into the PROM, but can't erase. EPROM, erasable memory, read-only memory. The data written on the memory can be erased. And electrically erasable, programmable read-only memory. The data written on electrically erasable, programmable read-only memory can be erased and used for storing data. This technology is used in memory cards. Hard drive. A hard disk, also known as the hard drive, is one of the most important secondary memory device. The data is stored on the hard disk in the digital format. It has a rotating magnetic disk protected by a hard cover. It is divided into a number of tracks and sectors that store data. Hard drives can store large amount of data. Processor. The processor or CPU is the main component of the computer. It is a chip inside the computer which can perform the tasks that allow the computer to function properly. It receives input, controls the different actions to be performed, and sends the output. AMD Athlon, AMD Ryzen 7, and Threadripper are some of the processors. This is the end of the chapter, and this is the end of the part 6 video.